I don't even know who that was that fought Michael Bisping. They introduced him as Luke Rockhold. He looked like Luke Rockhold, but he sure as hell didn't fight like Luke Rockhold. I've never seen Luke Rockhold in a fist fight put his hands down before and look that arrogant. I've just never seen him do it. Could Luke Rockhold with his skills beat Michael Bisping with his skills? Sure he could. He did. He did it 18 months ago. Can Luke Rockhold coming out there buying into his own press clippings and thinking that he's put a gap between himself and the competition beat Michael Bisping or anybody else in the top 10? Absolutely not. He has not put a gap between himself and the competition. He beat Jacques Garay a number of years ago in an amazing contest that really got Luke's name out there. He then beat Tim Kennedy in a back-and-forth tit-for-tat contest that really helped to solidify his name. He beat a bunch of guys in the UFC, including Chris Weidman, but I'll remind you guys, in that fight with Chris Weidman, Luke got his ass kicked. He then came back and kicked Chris Weidman's ass. They beat the hell out of each other. It was a fantastic fight, which is the reason they booked a rematch, because it was such a great contest. And Luke comes out and says that he's put a gap between himself and the competition. I'm going, Luke, as recently as your last fight, there wasn't a gap between you and your competitor. You do everything right. You keep your hands up, you keep your chin down, you move your feet well, you scramble off the bottom, you got a great submission game, your kicks are fantastic, you protect yourself on your feet, and you hope that that's enough to beat your opponent. You're not the John Jones of that division that's just athletically better and more gifted and longer and bigger and this. You're not any of those things. You're a tough guy that goes out there, keeps his focus, and does things right. And more times than not, you're better than your opponent. But that's it. There's no gap between you and the rest of the guys. Luke Rockhold went into this fight believing his own press clippings, and I couldn't believe it. And it's very common historically. Guys do this all the time.
When I beat Luke Rockhold, Weidman can be my first defense, and I'll shut that asshole up once and for all.
He was just, he kept like waving his hand like the last minute. I think he like waved his hand at me like 3 times, and I was like the first time whatever, the second time I was like, what is this guy doing? I thought I had him backing up. He's making me like second guess. I was like, am I backing up or what? What's going on? Am I not thinking what's really going on in this fight? And the third time he did it, I was like, you know what? I heard the 10 seconds. I was like, let's go for it. You want it? Come and get it.
Mark Hunt is the hardest puncher I've ever faced, and I've pretty much faced, I think, everybody in the top 10. It's a dangerous fight for the reason that he hits so hard. And Brock has shown that, through what people, Pat Barry, after training with him, came out and said that even in sparring, he doesn't, they don't want people to hit him hard.
Right.
We saw that in the fights. The minute people got past the initial takedown, you saw it in the Cain Velasquez fight. Once he was able to start getting his rhythm and punching Brock, I even saw a real comical meme on the internet where when he, did like a 360 and ran backwards and kind of did some breakdancing moves to avoid being hit. And even when he was on his back, his defense was very strange. He doesn't like to be hit. Not that anybody likes to be hit, but Brock, for whatever reason, has shown much more of a dramatic response to the negativity of taking those shots.
Yeah.
To the point to where he's not asleep. It isn't like he got knocked out. He's not getting dropped, but he just, he turns his face away from adversity. And that's a bad thing when fighting Mark Hunt, who, again, I think is one of the hardest punchers in the division.